The sellers say specifically too is it's just so easy to find it. I bookmark that page. I can go back to it. The value selling when I'm on the calls, or if I need that analyst information, I'm on the calls. I know exactly how to find it quickly, easily. So they really like that too. Managers like it for coaching. So when they are coaching their reps on certain things too, whether it be messaging, they can go to the page. And once again, we're on dual screens, triple screens. The managers has the page up, asking the questions, getting the coaching for that one-on-one type of situation. So great feedback from the team. They really like it. My product marketing team likes it too, because they can see the impact of all the content I put together in one place. And we can get the data on there too.
Hello, my name is Eli Cohen, and I'm the CEO of SalesHood. Really excited to be hosting today's webinar on impactful sales content that revenue teams leverage to win and close more business and close more business faster. Today is all about pipeline, revenue. Have three amazing speakers today. We have Justin, who's our customer success manager at SalesHood, and we've got Penny and Ash. And I'm going to let Penny and Ash introduce themselves before we get started. And please jump in and tell us a little bit about yourself, Penny.
Well, I like to start out, what do you get when you have a person that has experience as an SDR, as an AE, a technical trainer, high school chemistry teacher, and a master's degree in training? You get an enablement professional just like myself that thinks like my learners, my sales, my customer success peeps, links to my business goals, a person with range, not a specialist. And I always like to highlight books whenever I come on. So my latest book that I'm going to highlight is Range by David Epstein. So we can put that in the chat too. But that's who I am. I'm a VP of Global Enablement at Planview. So I cover partners, I cover sales team, which we call field, and then I also the customer services part of our organization. So now I'd love to be able to talk about Ash, my number one favorite employee in my team. Don't hear that, other team members.
Ash, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Ash. I am a revenue enablement specialist here at Planview. Have a little bit of a unique background. I actually was a soccer coach and studied sports and exercise psychology in grad school, learned a lot about coaching, got really tired of coaching in sports, and somehow landed in enablement, now coaching the sales organization. So it's pretty awesome. I started off as a BDR. And now I'm in enablement, love enablement. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Oh, thank you, Ash, and thank you, Penny. Love those intros. And Justin, please, why don't you introduce yourself as well? It's great having you here with us. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I will follow the trend with Penny and Ash and just talk a little bit about my background in coaching. So I actually went to school for culinary arts. So I originally wanted to be a chef, and I actually fell into management, and I managed a hospitality company for a long time. And so, team building, coaching was a big part of that. And just like everybody in enablement, we've got eclectic backgrounds, but it all is around that coaching and that team building. So I now find myself here, been with SalesHood for almost 5 years, and loved every minute of it, and just stoked to show you all what we have today.
We love having you, and we love having you here, and we're grateful to the three of you for being here. Today is all about sales content. Today is all about empowering our revenue teams with impactful content so they can be more effective, be more efficient, close more deals, close more business. And we have, I'm going to go through the agenda quickly, and then, we're going to dive in. This is going to be pretty fun, and we're going to take you on a journey. We're going to start by sharing with you some industry stats. What's going on in the industry? What are the Gartners and the Forrester saying about sales content and sales efficiency and where our sales teams are spending money, and what chief sales officers are thinking as well about the effectiveness of sales content today. And we're going to have a little chat about that. And then we're going to dive into the Planview story, right? Penny and Ash are remarkable leaders. And we've been working with them for many years. We're so grateful to have them as a customer. And and they want to share with us their sales content strategy. They've got an amazing strategy powered by Saleshood that is grounded in some fundamental pillars. And it's so important that as enablement practitioners, as sales and marketing leaders, we are thinking through, and we have the pillars and the strategy the way that Penny and Ash have mapped it out. And then we're going to dive in and talk about some of their content types that are driving revenue for them. And then we're so fortunate, we're going to have Ash is going to walk us through kind of some of the whatever they can show, because we can't get too deep in the confidentiality and IP, but they're going to walk us through some of some of their pages and how they're thinking through kind of their overall sales content strategy. And then we have been busy. Saleshood is a revenue enablement platform. We're all about, we're a platform to help organizations replicate sales plays at scale. And, our platform is all about guiding sellers on what to do and what to share. And you know what? AI has played a big part in how we're driving efficiency and hyper-personalization. And we're fortunate. Justin's going to go a little deeper into the platform. We're going to show things like the admin setup, how to create pages, how to map content. We're going to show our content governance, which is powered by AI. We're going to show our content insights so you can measure the effectiveness of your content. And we just released our AI assistant for search as well. So we have a lot to go here. And then we're going to really punctuate this live webinar with the impact. And we're going to have Penny and Ash are going to share some of their impact stories. So boom, that is it. We have an amazing agenda ahead. So are you ready, everyone?
Ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. So I'm going to pull up some slides. I think it's so interesting to look at the industry. Let's look at some stats. Let's talk about this as a group, right? So first of all, 62% of heads of sales say that their sellers have difficulty finding relevant sales tools and sales content. So Penny, put your mind on before you started, right? Would you agree? What would you say? What's your comment as you kind of read this stat?
Oh, I say that when I came to Planview, things were one of my favorite words. It was a little bit of a kerfuffle. It was like assets all over the place. There was no organization, and it was stressing and inefficient for my sales team.
Yeah. So you'd agree with this stat, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And I love it. I appreciate Gartner for doing this research. Ash, what do you think? 62% of heads of sales say reps are struggling to find content. Agree, disagree?
I totally agree too. And I came in, a couple years after Penny, but that's something I noticed off the bat and something I've experienced with other companies in enablement. I don't want to jump ahead, but that's a huge thing for us. We want to keep things easy for our reps.
I love it. I have more stats. And so sellers are overwhelmed. Another Gartner stat. This just came out a few weeks ago. And the guidance from Gartner, which we all know this as practitioners, focus on providing guidance and streamlining processes to improve the seller experience, right? And you're going to see some of that today when the team at Planview shares how they're creating a highly impactful seller experience, which is personalized and branded and really geared towards. So I love this advice. I love this advice. Another stat, this is a crazy one. Sellers only spend 23% of their time directly engaging with buyers. Okay, when I was at Salesforce and when we did this analysis, it was 35% of the time. And we were shocked when we saw those numbers. And look where we are now, 20. How is this possible? Like Justin and Ash and Penny, how is this even possible?
That's a quarter of your week. A quarter of your week, you're actually in front of virtually or in person in front of a customer. And we know the impact of being on a call or being right at a customer, having lunch have a coffee with a customer, or having those impactful just conversations. So that's mind blowing. Less than a quarter of their week. Yikes.
Great. 40% of sales leaders cite seller over focus on non-core selling activities. So this reinforces the previous point. So there's an issue here. We've got sales people that are spending too much time doing non-core selling activities. They're spending too much time searching. They're spending too much time trying to figure out what to share. They're spending too much time trying to figure out what to say. And hey, listen, that's another plug for Sales Hood, right? We're all about guiding sellers, what to do, what to share, and AI helps us get there faster. And here it is, right? 52% of chief sales officers expect to see an impact this year from Gen AI. They're expecting to see core efficiency improvements, productivity improvements. And this is why today, when we go through and show you some of the demo, Justin's going to focus in on AI search, AI publisher, all the AI pieces that we have to help organizations improve the efficiency and effectiveness of their teams. I know you hinted a little bit, Penny, but would be great to set some context for us. Like, what was going on at Planview before you dove in and said, we got to solve this sales content problem? What was going on before? I think the word you used was kerfuffle. So let's unpack that word a little bit, please.
Yeah. And so you're talking with, we have a unique situation here at Planview. We have reps that have been here 15 plus years, and then you have your new hires come on board. And, we would have reps sharing, oh, like I use that, here's the deck I use. And then I would see the watermark would be like 15 years ago or 12 years ago. They're using something from the past. And then the new rep would grab that. And so it would get into the ecosystem. Or they would not, well, where's the most relevant case study? Where do I go to find that? And they're looking all over the place. And then what if you have a case study that they're out there talking about our customer churned? We don't want that. So it was a kerfuffle, old content all over the place, couldn't find it. No governance. We're like, we remove assets out of the library that are old. If we have an old case study, if we have an old kickoff recording, all that kind of stuff. It was just a kerfuffle. Those are a lot of things that are happening, and everybody knows that reps will go to where it's easy. And if it's on their laptop, they're going to go there first. And we want to solve that behavior change also. So that's kind of what the kerfuffle was before we started coming in.
The chaos. Reps couldn't find content. Reps were using old content. No governance, it makes sense. And so as you leaned in and said, I'm going to solve, we as a team, we're going to solve this sales content strategy. I think it needs to start with a strategy. And we'd love if you would share with us a little bit about kind of how you thought about your sales content strategy, and maybe kind of like tell us what are some of your pillars in your strategy. It'd be great to hear because we want to learn from both of you. So please let us know.
Yeah, I have 5 that I really focus on too. And I always go, and Ash knows this question. We always talk about this too. Number one, how does it impact revenue? Because the bottom line is we need to impact revenue. So we think about, is this going to help impact revenue? Think about the pipeline creation, shorten the sales cycle time, increase our win rates, increase our deal size. That is the number one pillar that we always think about too. Second one is I think about rep productivity. Like we saw the stats too, more time selling versus searching, easy to find those assets. We want it to be searchable. We want it to be organized so they can find what they need. So rep productivity, number 2. Number 3, sometimes we don't think about this, but an enablement efficiency. So I know that if you're running a team that has multiple people, you want to have efficiency within your team, efficiency when you work with marketing, because we all collaborate with marketing, the collateral that they provide too. We want to make it easy for projects and teams and to replicate across multiple roles, because if you're not just servicing the AEs, you're servicing the SDRs, the assistant consultants, those type of things, the CSMs. And then, so that's the efficiency part too. So it's interesting too, the AI came up, and I just sent a video for my sales team to say, here's some tips and tricks for using AI to do your account research. So it's rep efficiency, enablement efficiency, like that too. I'm a big short, sweet videos to make it efficient for people to find things too. Built for scale, number 4. Replicate across those roles. Once again, the working with marketing and stuff like that. If you have different geos, if you have different roles, if you work with partners, all that, build for scale. And then one of the things that I think that Ash and I do a lot is we put the audience first. We go, and I call it about, I'm going to put my AE hat on today, or Ash is going to put on her SDR hat. Or what is the CSM? And we go in and we ask our team quite a bit in Slack, a quick question like, How would you search for this? So ask them, put the audience first. What do they need for the content strategy? What do they, how are they going to look for it? So 5 things: impact
Yep.
revenue, number 1, rep productivity, enablement and efficiency,
Yep.
efficiency of our team, build for scale, and then put your audience first.
You want to share maybe for a minute or two, kind of your experience over the last 12 months, getting back in the field and how that helped inform your sales content strategy a little bit?
Sure. So I had a really unique opportunity. One of the EMEA leaders called me or slacked me and said, I got a crazy idea. Like, I like crazy. So I got on a quick call and he said, I am behind in making my numbers and I have a gap. I don't have a first line sales leader over in EMEA. Would you step in part-time? So our VP, regional vice president, is the role we have. So it's a first line sales leader. Would you step in part-time for a quarter? And I said, I'd love to, because I will learn so much getting closer to the field. So I got to see, first the forecast calls. I got to do the deal reviews. I got to do all the things that we build in enablement. I got to implement first-hand experience. So a nice little trip over to Stockholm was perfect for that too. But it was just understanding also, when we launch enablement, if we don't have coaching from first line sales leaders, it's going to fall flat. So that was one of the big aha moments. So I can put together an amazing huddle that talks about positioning on one of our new products. But if I don't have the team, the first line sales leader meeting or first line sales leader coaching on that, because I would talk to my team. I'm like, tell me about the messaging. How are you going to talk to customers? And they'd get all quiet.
Yeah.
So the pitch AI, the coaching is such a critical part of that. Very important. So that's what I just recently learned. I was a part-time sales leader for a quarter and I loved it.
It's so critical, right? Like if you're trying to enable the sales development team or the AE team, be that person for a little bit. Like I would highly recommend it. Or,
Shadow.
like when you're, if you create a tool or a resource, piece of content, like use the template yourself so you can see how easy it is to customize and how easy it is to share. So like, I think it's kudos to you and your team. You're always kind of leading the way. And I love it. I think this is going to be a trend. I think we're going to see, this is a prediction. We're going to see more enablement practitioners being asked to do what you were asked to do. Like, hey, I have a gap in a role, especially now when we are capacity, somewhat constrained. We can't add people, but we got to keep making our number. Like, hey, I got to make my number. I need someone to step in. Can you pick up the phone and make some calls? Or can you, can you pick up some of the quota? And as enablement practitioners, we should be saying, absolutely, it's going to make us better, and it's going to help us make better sales content. Correct. Which I think is amazing. So these are great pillars. These are great, great pillars. Ash, what would you add on the pillars piece here in terms of the sales content strategy?
Yeah, I think I also saw in the chat about feedback. Feedback is incredibly important. Like Penny said, we'll literally Slack and ask, hey, what do you think of this title versus this title? What do you think of this theme versus this theme? Because they're going to be the ones who are going to be searching and they're going to be the ones in the enablement. That's super important. Also in our huddles, we have a feedback call to action. So we always request feedback. I love it. Where's the gap that we missed? What is something that you liked? We want to be consistent with those types of things, and we want to make sure that we bridge those gaps proactively. And then the AE cap, I mean, that's like one of my favorite things. As someone who was an SDR and SDR manager, I always think like, when I know we're not at the pages yet, but like, whoa, when I was an SDR, I wish I had this. Like everything is here. So I think that is incredibly important. You want to always have the learner's cap on, because that's going to be the impact. That's going to be where the effectiveness comes from.
Powerful. Super, super powerful. Super powerful. Could you maybe share with us, what are some types of content? What's some type of content that you build? Whether it's pages or content or assets, what are some of your core content pillars? Not the strategy, but the pillars from sales content.
Yeah, exactly. The types of pages. So the first one that we experimented with was almost a year and a half ago was for kickoff. So we started a new value selling. So now we have all the messaging, and this is what Ash is referring to too, is like everything that they need to be able to help them value sell. Instead of having it all over the place, we have literally one page. Product marketing has done a fantastic job of providing us all this content. But when it first came out, it was like in this 25-page document. And I'm like, no, nobody's going to read that. So to be able to put it on a page in those bite-sized buttons for what is the value proposition of this solution? What are the customer stories for this solution? What are the differentiators for this solution in bite-sized little pieces? And I get calls from AEs all the time that says, Penny, we're all on multiple screens here. I'm having a conversation with you, but they said, tell me a little bit about how you differentiate from this other solution. They literally have the page up to that bite-sized resource that they could easily find, and they can have that conversation, and it enhances their conversation. So value selling is the number one thing that we launched. That's probably the most used page.
Could you explain how value selling kind of maps to the sales process, broadly speaking? Could you just explain that a little bit?
Sure. So we started out with, in discovery, these are the things that you need to uncover. Here's the bite-sized pieces that you can add to the conversation during discovery. As you continue on, as you get to the demo, because we're a software company, so as you get to the demo, here's some of the case studies, here are some of the metrics, the improvement metrics that you want to weave into your conversation. And then here's, as you get to the final deal, so here's some negotiation tactics too that are connected to the value. So all the way through the sales cycle, the sales process, you've got those bite-sized pieces. Yep.
Genius. So you got micro content, bite-sized content mapped to the sales process and supports your value selling framework, your value selling methodology. And it's there just in time for the reps. They can easily find it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think folks wanted to understand the strategy behind the mapping of the bite-sized content to these. So thank you for allowing me to just kind of probe a little bit on that one.
You bet. Ash has got 3 more that she wants to talk about.
Oh, wow. Let's go. Keep going.
Yeah, we all have competitors, and it's really important to know, how do we go against our competitors? So we have a competitive intel page for each of our competitors, and we have a battle card that we break down into those bite-sized pieces, so it's easy to digest. An example is talk tracks that our AEs use when going against competitors. We also have pages around our analyst reports, Gartner, Forrester. When we get that information, again, we break it into those bite-sized pieces, whether that's something internally or externally that we can use to go to market. Everything's connected into those pages. And then lastly, we have pages for our internal and external events. So internal events like our global kickoff, our revenue kickoff, where we meet once a year. So we record all those. Well, first we have pre-work and we have huddles, and we record all of our sessions, and then we bring it all into one page. We have a lot of people who can attend this global event. We have a lot of new hires that start post this event. So we bring everything into that page, so they have all that information is accessible, and they don't really feel left out. I think that's super important for us internally. And then we have an external event for our customers. I'll kind of get into this in a moment here. It's called Accelerate. And, when you have a customer event, you want to promote registration. We want to invite our prospects, invite our customers. So we have an event page around Accelerate. So it has everything that our customer success managers need, our AEs need, our SDRs need to promote those registrations, and hopefully ultimately, promote opportunities and increase pipeline as well.
I love the tie back to the metrics. So we've got value selling pages, which is beautiful. We've got competitive battle cards, which is great. You've got analyst reports. So now I get it, right? I'm seeing your CRO, your president, Matt, always promoting kind of how Planview's in the top right of all the quadrants. I'm seeing you promote it, Penny. So you guys are weaving that into your sales enablement strategy is what I'm hearing, because you want to make that information front and center. That's super smart, right? I don't know if many people would have thought about creating analyst pages like that. Any other comments on the analyst pages from either of you? Like in terms, go ahead.
Well, and it's how we announce these pages too that I think is
Yeah.
kind of important. And I've come up with a 4-slide manager deck as we announce these new pages, and we just did a product release page. And it's a 4-slide manager deck that it starts with why, and then it tells them why is this page important? How is this going to help drive revenue? Number 2 is always show the page, show the enablement. And I give them talking nights like go here to see the do's and don'ts, go here to do this, that type of thing too. Number 3 is I always get them around the room talking. How have you used this in the past? How will you use this? And then the 4th one is always the call to action. So making it in front of the managers to customize as they announce these pages rather than just an email that comes, "Ooh, we got a new page." So having the managers take accountability for announcing to their teams
Huge.
is a really critical piece too.
I think another piece that I think is super important that we do is we all know that analyst reports like with Gartner and Forrester, they can be delicate. So it's important to leverage these pages to really inform the AEs and whoever else is accessing that information on what they can say and what they can't say, because we don't want to break up our relationship with, Gartner or Forrester. I think that's super important to direct our account executives to, so that that relationship isn't broken.
We have a button, do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
And that's wow. So there's a lot there. We could spend the afternoon just talking about enabling frontline managers and enabling folks around all the great marketing assets. I just want to say, Penny and Ash, this is great, right? When you take an analyst report or you take a campaign or an event and then you create like a how-to guide for a frontline manager that explains the content and you package it up for them to do, as some reinforcement, that's world class. So just kudos. That's world class. I think a lot of folks are taking notes to that one. Well, listen, we've been talking a lot. Ash, how do you feel about showing us an example of one of these? I think it would be great to see one in action.
Yeah, I definitely want to show an example. Before I show an example, I thought it would be impactful to share a little bit about our thought process when creating our pages.
I love that.
Some people here might be starting fresh. Some people might, want to make some adjustments. But really, it's all about 2 things: consistency and making it easy to use and easy to access. So when I talk about a consistency, we group our pages by subject. So for example, we've mentioned analyst pages. We have a page for each of our reports, our competitor assets. So we keep all those in one section. Page structure is incredibly important. We want to make it easy for everybody to access. So keeping that page structure consistent across each page so that our AEs know that, hey, I know on this page that this is found here. I know on this page it will be found there also. So always keeping our pages consistent with that page structure. Aesthetics, I love aesthetics. Who doesn't? I'm just kidding. But keeping the Planview brand, the color palette. We even work with our marketing team to create a personalized banner for each of our page. So I'm going to go back into the analyst report as an example. All of our analyst reports have the same banner across each page. So when they come to, all the pages, they can see exactly what that page is about. And going back to feedback, we ask our leaders and our AEs, hey, what would make this easy for you to find? And we take their advice and we use that for our titles on our pages. And easy to use. That's the number one. Our learners, this has to be easy for them, or else they're not going to use it, and it needs to be impactful in that way.
And it's for all roles, right, in the go-to-market team. Let's just do a quick recap. You are enabling. You want to just tell me the roles again?
It's go to market and go to customer. Go to market, go to customer. So I'm enablement across the whole organization.
Yeah, right. I think just want folks to appreciate, when we talk about building for scale, we talk about being empathetic, you're taking all this great content and then you're, providing it just in time to all these different types of go-to-market personas across your organization. So genius. All right.
And we all know in enablement that we have to act quickly, we have to pivot and adjust, and we really have to create impactful content on the fly, and Saleshead Pages makes it easy to do that. So, this is easy for us because of Saleshead Pages too.
I love it. Can't
All
wait
right,
to
so
see. And
oh.
Katie, your friend can change their name if they want. You know, into but it's great to have you. Welcome, Katie's friend.
This is our example of our Planview Accelerate page for this year, 2024. As you can see, it is going on next week. And this is an example, as I mentioned, of the banner that would be across the top of the page. So it really drives your eye to the center and, hey, this is what this page is about. Our buttons, we create buttons for the top when it comes to relevancy. So, you know, the link to drive registrations. So if you click into that button, it will take you literally to the registration page. So that's a shareable link. If I go back into the page, you can click on these buttons to nominate someone for an award, an Accelerate award. We have signatures, so you can change your email signature. We have Zoom backgrounds. As you can see in my background, I have the Accelerate Zoom background. Our monthly newsletters. One of our top assets on this page, it actually has the most views, is the email template. So I'm not going to share this I'm not going to go through this, but I wanted to point out that this email template.
We're not going to go too deep.
Yeah.
We're not going to go too deep.
Yeah, is impactful because this is easy to use. You plug and play and send to your prospects, to your customers, you know, again, to really drive the increase in registration.
And she knows that because of the analytics that we can find from the assets in the page.
Yes, yes. And then we always like to link, you know, last year's or the most recent event or asset, whatever they may be, so that they can go back to that and see that as well. This is our second year doing a Planview Accelerate page, and we, you know, we'll get further into metrics later, but we have seen an increase in registrations and opportunities and increased pipeline. So again, driving revenue, that's number one. So it is impactful. It is an impactful page. And I know Penny kind of talked about this a little bit, but we published a page this week on our product releases and launches. So all of our most recent product releases and launches, all the information around that, demos, the webinars, the links is all found in one page. And it was so awesome to see the email thread come in with all the leaders, executive leader team across the board, just giving us support and saying how awesome this page was. We're super happy and proud to get that, you know, published and across the finish line and published. But I hope that was helpful.
So I've asked Justin to come in, and because like to appreciate the power of this thing, how easy it is to customize when we go back to Penny's pillars around enablement efficiency, rep productivity, build to scale. And then we think about the broader context of Gen AI. There's a lot to show here and to empower you as practitioners with in order so that way you can, you know, be the superstar, be the superhero for your organizations. And so, Justin, you're going to walk us through some stuff, right?
Absolutely.
And by the way, let's just give Ash, that was her first demo on her first webinar. Amazing. That was incredible. And thank you very much. Kudos.
Awesome job, Ash. Beautiful pages. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'll just walk us through one of our most recent pages, some of the functionality there, and then also highlight kind of the AI layer that sits underneath everything from the publisher perspective and from the rep perspective. So again, I think Ash and Penny did a great job of kind of displaying that pages really are this one-stop shop for reps to go to get fast and easy access to the content they need when they need it. So as an example, we've got one of our new home pages here in our demo instance, and a couple things to highlight. So these pages are role-based. They are user-based, totally personalized to who's looking at this page. We can access things like our most engaged client sites. There are things like competitive pages, our trial pages, you know, events pages, whatever pages that you have, you can bring those into that other landing page and link to those. So it's really easy to navigate to the sections and to the places that you need to go to. In addition to that, we see recommended content. So what is the most popular stuff that's coming out? What are the other reps using? What is the recommended training for this user, for these roles? All of that can be easily surfaced dynamically here. And then in addition to that, we have our pitch practice with our AI coach element that sits in line in this page. So as a rep, I come into here, I have this siloed version of our pitch where I can come in and practice an unlimited amount of times. I can get real-time AI coaching until I'm ready and I'm comfortable to go and actually, use this talk track out in the field to sell in front of real customers. So again, one-stop shop, fast, easy access, all in one place for your reps to go, and super easy for you as the enablement person to set up. So what I want to do is actually go into the back end of one of these.
Ooh, we're going into the admin.
That's right. In the spirit of going deeper. So you can see here, the formatting super simple. What you do is you just create your sections and you have your formatting options. So do you want it to be 1 column, 2 column, 3 columns? You have your elements over here on the right that everything is drag and drop. So you can embed YouTube links, other external links. You can bring in your trending assets, what's getting the most views. That's all dynamic. Our system does that for you. Regular assets, you can sort those by tags, specific folders. So this page really gets nicely curated. Any of the learnings, right? So again, having this be like very user personalized, you have that to-do section for each user that's clicking into this page, each rep that accesses the page, that's going to be their personal to-do section. All that training that you need to put in front of the reps, that's that element there. Then we have our images, videos, text, things like that. So again, everything's super easy, drag and drop. So what I'll do is I'll just bring in a text element here. And, again, the layer of AI sits underneath the whole platform now. It helps the publishers and it helps the rep. And so one way our AI publisher helps is within pages, you have your personalized AI assistant here. And let's say you've got some content on this page already, and you want to maybe summarize a section of it or summarize the whole page in general so that when people access, they know exactly what they're looking at. So what I'm going to say is summarize this page. And then let's see the AI go to work. So it's actually taking the content that's on this actual page and it's analyzing it. And then based on my prompt, it's going to give us a response. And so here we go. So I put a very simple prompt in, just said summarize this page. What it did was just give me a summary again of what's on this page itself. So that is one way that we make these fast and easy for the publisher as well as the end user once it's all ready to go.
We're making the enablement folks more efficient, I think, and marketers as well. It's great. And it also, so it reads the content and a question that comes up, it reads the insides of the content. It reads the inside of the PDF. It reads the transcripts of the videos as well. And it'll provide a summary that you can then, edit afterwards. Thanks for showing that live, Justin.
Yeah, of course. So that's how we take our content and activate it, right? Now you've got all the content in your library, it's activated. Fast forward a few months, you want to make sure that everything is still relevant. You want to make sure nothing's outdated. So how we do that, again, the layer of AI that sits underneath the whole platform, we do that through the content audit. And so what we're doing here is we're just surfacing things in specific sections to try and help the content owners and the content creators keep everything super up to date, super relevant, making sure that everything has context behind it as well. And so if you see here, we have another AI publisher assistant. So all of the content that gets brought into your system gets analyzed, and our AI assistant says, hey, this asset here doesn't have a description. You may want to add a description. By the way, we've created one for you. So at the click of a button, I insert that AI generated description and I'm ready to go, right? So now this asset will move out of the needs context section and it's just become more relevant, right?
Enablement efficiency, amazing. And then so the benefit of the descriptions and getting the tags right is all about rep productivity, provides more context. So they know when and how to use things, right, Justin?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, amazing. I love it. And hope folks appreciate, we really wanted you to see the AI content and the governance and appreciate that we can't go that deep in the Planview instance because that would be, wouldn't be appropriate. So but Justin, thanks for showing us this one. But there's more, right?
There is, but wait, there's more.
Yeah.
So now that you have all your content nice and relevant and up to date, you want to see the impact of that content. So shout out to the SalesHood product team. We just released Content Insights, super, super impactful data that we're pulling through here. So you've got a snapshot of every asset in your instance now. And we have a whole list of impact metrics here that we can look at. So if your content's external facing and your reps are sharing your content through client sites, what is the pipeline being influenced? What is the revenue being influenced by that specific asset? So this is huge for marketing to be able to come into here. And with a few clicks, we just resort this. We can see these specific assets, how many times they're being shared, how many times they're being viewed, and even look at the pipeline being influenced by that individual asset.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And this is new. And for those customers that are on the call, the visualization layer that's going to sit on top of this is kind of the next piece that's coming out in the content insights in the next little bit. Let's just Ash added a comment in here and you wrote, this is key, helps us move fast. Do you want to add some color on that?
Honestly, like I create pages all the time, and the way pages is set up, it's easy for me to move fast. As long as I have everything I need on the Planview side and the marketing side, I can create those pages quickly. And that's important because, you know, the more time you spend on creating things, the longer it takes to get to the people who need to be enabled.
And not to mention that her boss gives her lots of projects to do. So enablement efficiency.
Where are we going next, Justin?
So last but certainly not least, another brand new release from the product team is our AI search. So we give the reps the ability to go in and actually ask the AI assistant questions about the content that lives in your instance and get a response back. And so what I'm going to do here is, just as an example, show you, I'm a rep, I am at SalesHood, I need to know how to sell against Seismic. I can just go in and actually ask our system that question. How do I sell against Seismic? And so our AI is going to work in the library, all the content that's already been analyzed, the videos, the PDFs, the slide decks, and it's giving me a response based on all of that. And it's even sourcing where it got that information. So super powerful tool in the hands of the rep now. And then you can even iterate these things, right? So now that I have this information, this is great. This is exactly what I need. Put that in an email template for me.
Oh my God, I haven't seen that. That's amazing.
So now our system is generating this email template based on that initial response, giving you a brand new output and giving you something that you can literally copy and paste into an email and share to your prospect.
Penny and Ash, you're going to get this in your hands very, 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 if you haven't already.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're just hungry for it. So bring it on.
We turned it on this week for all of us internally, and it's coming very, very soon. Big Justin.
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Really. And thank you, Katie, for the kind words. Congrats on developing this so thoughtfully. Amazing AI on the CMS. And again, Ash, great demo. Really, really, powerful demo, and really good walkthrough. So, back to kind of the overall the overall topic that we're talking about, impactful sales content, our teams leverage to win. So how do we know it's working, right? And we saw some of the content insights, but let's flip it back to Planview and Penny and maybe give us some insight into how do you know your content is making the impact that you want it to make?
I look at it two ways. We look at it qualitative and quantitative. And by the way, this is a little flashback to my past. So I was a high school chemistry and physics teacher for 9 years, and I used to teach keywords, and we had vocabulary, and I would say qualitative, quantitative, and all well, I'm not going to go into chemistry, Mrs. Springer. Why do I need to know this? And I'm like, this is a term you're going to need to know if whatever you do. So qualitative, we get feedback from our teams. So we're able to see, I love the fact when I'm seeing emails come in from the team. Our email signature is there. They went to the page for the Accelerate, the Zoom backgrounds, and I go into Chorus and I review team calls and I see the Zoom backgrounds. I get Slack messages from leadership. Where are those Zoom backgrounds, Penny? All those types of things too. But then we get the feedback from the teams that say, this is so impactful. This is great. We're finding this so easy to use and that type of thing too. And like I talked about earlier, I do launch it for my managers to have a discussion in a team meeting, start with why, share the page, peer-to-peer learning, and then that call to action. So qualitative, we're hearing from our teams. And then it goes to quantitative. So this is where the analytics are fantastic. So we look at the visits, we look at the views, we look at the downloads, we look at the registration increases. We can see our registration numbers increasing after we launch the page, after we do the manager introduction to it too. And then we get to see the pipeline creation. And data architecture is very complex. We know this too, that there's a correlation between enablement and our page and the deals won from Accelerate. But marketing also provides us some great data for closed ops after Accelerate and our win rate. So we can aggregate all this together and then say, yes, quantitative results, we are making an impact on revenue within the organization and efficiency for our reps.
Beautiful. The holy grail, driving high impact revenue enablement and using sales content and the pages and all the great work that you and Ash and your teams are doing to bring the content front and center. Huge success. Huge success.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. I just want to kind of wrap a bit and then we'll take some questions, but I want to say thank you very much. Penny, you know, we've been collaborating for many, many years, and it's just a pleasure to work with you on a personal level and a professional level. It's just been an honor. So we're grateful that you partner with us, and, you know, you've spoken at our Multipliers conference, and you continue to, you know, give back to the community the way you have today. Your insights are spectacular, and it's just thank you for sharing your pillars. Thank you for opening up your library and your pages and showing us a little bit about what's going on at Planview. There's no, and then finally sharing kind of how you quantify. There's no wonder why you are in the role that you are and driving the impact that you're driving at Planview. So keep going, keep crushing it. Thank you.
Well, I've got a great team. I've got a great team, and I collaborate with a lot of people within Planview, and I've got a great CSM too.
You
Thank you.
Justin. You do. And
Thank you, Eli.
Ash,
We do.
kudos to you. This was an amazing first webinar.
Thank you.
First of
I feel
many.
great.
You are a natural, and we love having you in the community. So thank you for all you do, and Justin, thank you very much for stepping up and kind of showcasing some of the new stuff, the content AI, the governance, the AI search, the admin on the pages, money. Amazing. So thank you, everyone.
The Accelerate say specifically too is it's just so easy to find it. I bookmark that page. I can go back to it. The value selling when I'm on the calls, or if I need that analyst information, I'm on the calls. I know exactly how to find it quickly, easily. So they really like that too. Managers like it for coaching. So when they are coaching their reps on certain things too, whether it be messaging, they can go to the page. And once again, we're on dual screens, triple screens. The managers has the page up, asking the questions, getting the coaching for that one-on-one type of situation. So great feedback from the team. They really like it. My product marketing team likes it too, because they can see the impact of all the content I put together in one place, and we get the data on there too.
You want to be the best friend of sales, right? And you want your teams that you're enabling, the audiences that you're empowering, to lean on you, to lean on the systems and the tools and the content that you provided them, and have them really use them on a regular basis. And that's why, you know, with SalesHood, you know, our point of view on AI and our AI assistant is there to provide huge value to enablement practitioners, huge value to managers, but really front and center, we're putting huge value to salespeople. And that's a big focus for us. We want to empower salespeople to be the best that they can be. And so if anyone is interested, right, I know we've got a bunch of people listening now, a bunch of people listening to the replay. If you want to get your hands on SalesHood and you want to see how easy it is to guide your sellers on what to do, what to share, you want to build some pages, see how you can drag and drop, you want to see how the combination of AI plus content, plus coaching, plus training, all pulled together into that page experience works, we'd love to have you. So please, you can fill out a request for a demo or a trial and we'll take care of the rest. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Penny. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Justin. And boom, let's have an amazing 24, everyone. See you later.
Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
all.